Okay. 5 of Cups. Reversed. No regrets. You see it like it is. You tell it like it is. If only everybody else would do that, right? I'll put these separate so you can know their significators. Your energy, Cups. In this deck, I love that we have the 3 cups reversed, right? Spilling water, looking at the past, regrets. But I love this deck because she's facing the cups that are upright. So no regret. This is a card of regret, but at least in this deck, she's starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But when this is reversed, you might be stuck a little bit. So no regrets, but you might be missing something a little bit here. What's underneath? Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, we have the Devil reversed, and we also have the 2 of Swords reversed. So you're just in go mode right now. You're like, I'm just going to make this decision. I'm not going to act like I don't see it. I'm not going to be afraid of it. I'm not going to dwell and wait around. I'm just going to take this blindfold off and make a decision. And this is good because this is a healthy response. You're not feeling tethered to anything. Tethered to an addiction, tethered to a person. You know, you're not having any regrets. You're just moving along. And ultimately, you see all those? Ultimately, this is beautiful because you're just like, not like a forgive and forget type of energy. You're just like, okay, cool. I got it. I see what's up. And I'm not about that life right now. So I'm just going to go build my stability. I may need to save some money. I may need to pull back from the situation a little bit because ultimately this is what I'm after. Stability, happiness, family, relaxation, money. So I'm going to pull back from what's going on. I'm making the decision. Solid. First row. Victory, 10 of Cups, Knight of Cups, making an emotional offer. This is so cool, Scorpio, because you have 10 of Cups, or 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. Victory. Knight of Cups, emotional offers, passion, initiation, Ace of Wands. You're moving right into a new thing. Relationship-wise, work-wise, you're all in. You're not necessarily leaving something, but it's like you're choosing to only see the bright side. And you're not going to dwell on anything in the past. You're just going to do what needs to be done to get you to a new phase so you can start moving forward. And you're being very open and honest about it here with the Knight of Cups. This is what I want. This is how I'm going to go about doing it. I'm making the decision. We're going to be successful. We're all going to feel good. Awesome, new phase, let's get going. Perfect. We're going to pull clarifiers in this because I don't know that this can get any better. So in the extended, we'll pull clarifiers and we don't even need to get to the bottom of this because why do we want to look at anything more in depth? But this is good. I want to prove that this is good. Center of the deck, Justice. You're getting what you deserve. This is karma. You could be dealing with a legal situation. You could be dealing with balancing out the scales. You may have some things that have been lifted off your plate and now you're in a better place. It doesn't mean you're not as busy. It doesn't mean you don't have the same amount of stuff going on, but you being able to feel like this is this. Okay, with the star here, this has to do with equal footing, firmly planted on the ground, fully in touch with your emotions, which you always are, Scorpios. Not only your emotions, but everybody else's. And you're watering and nurturing both sides. So if this is a work situation, you're nurturing your people. You're nurturing your coworkers. You're nurturing yourself, your emotional base. You're nurturing the foundation with which this can grow on. Hope, healing, faith. You're in a very positive place, Scorpios. This has to do with balance, 6 of Pentacles. Reciprocity, equal giving, maybe even generosity. Because while this does have to do with equality, you're balancing out the scales so everybody feels made whole. Everybody feels made whole. And look, the significator for this row is the Five of Swords reversed. The Five of Swords upright is a lose-lose situation. It's a situation where you won the battle, but you hurt some feelings along the way in a major way, and maybe lost some friends, maybe lost some relationships. We don't want to be standing there all by yourself holding all the swords, being like, hey, I won. You suck, I won. Right? No. This is a win-win situation. Everybody feels made whole. Everybody feels balanced. We'll pull clarifiers on this too, because this could be a change of perspective on your part to lift up morale for everybody, including yourself, including yourself, including yourself, right? There's an openness, there's a lightness to this, and you're in a really good place. I love it. Significator on the bottom row, Four of Swords, reversed. This is not a time to rest. You don't feel like resting. You don't think that you're in some weird, unhealthy place and you need to heal and figure out your thoughts and sort things out and figure out different approaches. You don't need to do that because things are actually moving along quite good. You may feel a little fresh. Okay, so you don't want to feel a little like in firefighter mode, because this is a temporary energy, the Knight of Wands. This has to do with flying in on your horse and having this egotistical energy, and I'm here, and we're going to do this, and we're going to have fun. So be a little cautious of this energy, because things can be going so well for you and everybody that you may feel like kind of being everywhere at once and trying everything. And that might be, you're definitely in that energy because you're not feeling like you're wanting to rest. So we're going to definitely clarify this. This is coming off of the tail end of definitely leveling up. Coming off of the tail end of Nine of Pentacles reversed. Coming off of the tail end of you feeling a little imbalanced, right? Maybe there's a ton of stuff at work. Maybe you are lacking some independence, lacking some wholeness and stability in where you were. But the fact that this card is here, you were trying to get there, right? Trying to love your independence, trying to feel secure financially, trying to love the life that you're creating. You're in a very good place. You might not be exactly where you want to be just yet, but don't worry too much because you're basically there. This might have to do a little bit with change of perspective because you're certainly leveling up. Certainly leveling up. So I like this Five of Cups reversed because if there's moments where you feel like this will quickly take over. And you realize you don't need to be tethered to this. You don't need to make a decision to switch this. You don't have to worry about this because you know you're on a very solid path. One more. Magician, reversed. So stability, the Hierophant, tradition. This may take some maneuvering. What I like about this is this is the very first major arcana card. So if this were upright, you would be starting a whole new phase. A whole new cycle of something, a whole new group of people, a whole new scenario in your life. But this has to do with, in this reading, this can have a very negative connotation. This can be manipulation, deceit, force. But with this card in this reading, with all of these positive cards surrounding it, this has to do with you're not going to need to manipulate the situation to make things better. Okay. You might need to manipulate your mindset a little bit. You might need to manipulate things to make this even better than it already is. And that's why this is saying pull back a little bit. This one. Pull back a little bit. You're on the right path. You're going to get what you're working towards. Okay, let's pull an oracle card before we get into the extended. Spirit and Universe. Actually, I'm going to pull let's pull some outcome cards. I'm not doing this for people, but let's do this for you, Scorpios. I kind of feel like, can this get any better? So whether this is life or love or work, family, leave your comments below. I'm curious what this means for you. This being able to just make this shift and not worry about it. And the good thing about this is sometimes when we do this, people's feelings on the other side get hurt. They feel left out. They feel, something has been done to them. Something's been done. They've had wrongdoing towards them. They can feel victimized. But this whole reading is saying you're not being the victim and neither are they. This is benefiting everybody. 3 cards for the outcome for Scorpios this month. What's the outcome for Scorpios this month? Outcome for Scorpios this month. 3 cards off of the split deck. One more shuffle. Outcome for Scorpios in June. Strength. The Empress reversed, the High Priestess reversed. Okay, outcome. Again, there's a calming. You're uncertain about this calming. Hey. But this also has to do with being very open, because the High Priestess, she's very much in control of information that comes in and information that goes out, because she's protecting something. There's this inner knowing in her. So upright, this is a very positive card. But reversed, this can mean that there's some uncertainty, maybe a lack of faith in oneself, a faith in one's ability, a faith in one's understanding. But with this whole positive reading being also clarified by strength in the Empress reversed, this definitely has to do with the fact that stuff has been lifted up off of your plate and you're not having to start something new and put all your energy into work. This is certainly not a loss in a negative way. You're a little uncertain about this, though. I'm sensing that there's a major shift that's taking place. You're going to hold strong. You're going to hold firm. But inside of yourself, as much as you could see right through a scenario and see right through people and right into the core of the matter, this has to do with a lack of faith in your own feelings about this. So you're like a Gemini, they can just move into a new situation and then just completely grab hold of it. You're taking a little bit of time here to realize what's happening, realize how you feel, realize how they feel, realize the impact on the whole situation. And I like this because with the Empress, you're not having to blast forward ahead. You can kind of pause here and appreciate all the good. Okay, now let's pull an Oracle card. I'm glad we did that. What's the highest level message? Advice and guidance message, outcome message for Scorpios. Okay. I'm gonna take 2. 119, unity, and the Sage. Isn't that you, Scorpios? Unity. Very first card in this deck. This is the Brian Froud Fairy Oracle. I won't read the whole thing, but we'll talk about some things. Keywords: union, mystical experience, spiritual home. So you're feeling settled, but you don't have faith in that feeling yet. When this card comes up in a reading, it is asking us to remember the mystical concept that we are all one, unified in a holistic universe. It reminds us to look at the needs and goals we have in common with others and seek cooperation and community action rather than attempting to do everything on our own. Yes, to achieve our goals, we need to activate cooperation of others. And to get that cooperation, we must be helpful to them and willing to work with their ideas as well as our own. It suggests that we think of things in terms of equal partnerships rather than the lines in hierarchical authority. Beautiful. Last paragraph. Seek the highest good of all involved and not merely your idea of highest good. Ask for the divine energy of unity to permeate and guide you. Beautiful. Moving right into the Sage. So cool. Keywords for the Sage: wisdom, hidden knowledge, retreat, patience, Okay? We're talking about this. Here we see wisdom and deep inner understanding. Have faith in yourself. One of the keys of wisdom is to organize, integrate, and simplify one's thoughts. Have faith in yourself. Complexity often leads to confusion. Simplicity is to be valued. This card signifies mental discipline informed by balanced learning and compassion. Tradition is valued, but appropriate change is accepted. The sage knows when to let go and when to move on. He knows when to retreat and think things over. Where is that? Oh, that Four of Pentacles. He compassionately and wisely shares his knowledge with others. All right, beautiful. Teaching by example as well as by precept. The scales of justice are balanced in the sage's hands. This card in a reading also signifies the need for deep consideration and refined judgment applied with compassion and mercy. I mean, how perfect was that? What I love most, Scorpios, is I think you already know this. I think you're already in tune with this, okay? But if you're not, if you need more clarity, let's move into the extended. That link's below. Let's pull some clarifiers and go from here. All right? I love you so much.